morning, beautiful people. I wanted to go live this morning to talk a little bit about the importance of today. Today is the first day of the national strike for those who are being enslaved, imprisoned across our country. My heart hurts this morning for all of those that are behind the walls who are seeking just a sense of humanity. I just wanted to go real quick over what the 10 list of demands for the national strike are, and that way everybody understands what this is all about. I know that the media is, of course, not doing a very good job about identifying and discussing why this is important and why people are putting their lives on the line to protect others' humanity. So this strike has been organized across institutions across the United States. This is on behalf of those men and women and children who are behind the walls, who are technically U.S. citizens, as well as the undocumented who are being held that are uncounted. So the list of demands that were given from behind the walls is 1, immediate end to prison slavery, which means that any labor that happens behind the walls needs to be paid at the rates, fair market value rates of that region. So we want an end to slave labor in institutions. We want an immediate improvement to conditions that recognizes all humanity. That's number 2. Institutions must recognize the humanity that is in cages behind those walls. Number 3, we want the Prison Litigation Reform Act to be rescinded. If for those who don't understand what that's about, the PLRA is something that was enacted by the Clintons in the 90s. We're still suffering from policies of the Clintons. And what it does is it prevents people that are behind the walls to sue civilly against these violations that are happening. And so it's a mechanism that was put in place for further oppression. Number 4, no human should be sentenced to death by incarceration. We want an immediate end to life sentences without the possibility of parole. Nobody, no human in this world is their worst deed. Think about the worst thing you ever did in your life. What if every day you woke up and everybody just called you that? There is redemption, and we want an immediate end to life sentences without the possibility of parole. Nobody should die incarcerated. Number 5, the over-sentencing of people of color must end. It must end immediately. There has been an assault on our people since the beginning, the foundation of slavery and genocide on this land. We want an end to that. Number 6, we want an end to racist gang enhancement laws. For people who don't know what that is that institutions can call you a gang member and put you in administrative segregation, even though you've done nothing, without write-ups. And that is dangerous policy, dangerous, because it's completely arbitrary and subjective. And it's a threat. It's a threat to all of the people that are being held in solitary confinement. That is inhumane torture. Number 7, there's a demand for access to rehabilitation, to all services that would be available if somebody was free and able to walk into a hospital, a treatment center, a clinic, a school, any of the access and resources that people out here who are walking around have. That same access should be provided because the overwhelming majority of the people that are behind the walls are going to come home one day, and they are entitled to rehabilitation. So to prevent anybody from that access is inhumane. Number 8, we want all institutions to turn into rehabilitation centers, not prisons, not slave camps, not plantations. Rehabilitation, not incarceration. Number 9, reinstate Pell Grants, so that those that are behind the walls, there is so much talent, so much intelligence, so much brilliance behind the walls, and they should be allowed access to higher education. Number 10, we want to restore voting rights, because there's absolutely no reason somebody should be punished by taking their voting rights away. It's just a form of oppression that's been used since right after the turn of the century. So this is one that's near and dear to my heart, so I get a little bit emotional on this one, but as I do with all of them. But voting rights, those are human rights, and if we want to say we live in a so-called democracy, everybody's voice should be counted. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're being held captive, your voice needs to be counted. That is what liberation looks like. So those are the 10 list of demands for the national prison strike. I stand in solidarity with all of those, and my heart hurts this morning for all of those that are being punished today and who have been being punished just for asking for basic human rights. We're just asking for humanity. We want to call ourselves the land of the free when we have 2.3 million people behind the walls right now, and another 6 million who are on probation and parole. That's not freedom. If you really believe in the foundations of freedom, of liberation, of humanity, then you'll stand with those that are striking behind the walls. This is $1 billion industry, and we're under attack. Our people are being taken every day. The federal government is manufacturing crime in our neighborhoods to further criminalize us. It's really important that anybody, everybody, everywhere stand in solidarity with those that are putting their lives on the line just to protect the humanity and demand humanity for all of the millions that are being enslaved today in this country. So I encourage everyone, please make a post, make a phone call to an institution, put a sign out in your front yard, be in solidarity with all of those who are hurting behind the walls today and every day. The strike is scheduled to go for 2 weeks. In Albuquerque, we're going to do a solidarity event towards the end of the strike, September the 8th, Saturday, September the 8th. I will be posting updating the event page, and I encourage everybody to come out and stand with us. We'll be giving updates from those that are behind the walls on how things are going. And most importantly, like here in New Mexico, we didn't organize here, but all of the men and women and children of this state are being punished right now. There's an administrative lockdown happening right now in all institutions in New Mexico. A punishment for just because there was people organizing for humanity. So call New Mexico DOC, take action, be in solidarity with those that are being harmed. Angela Davis told us we need to align with the most oppressed in our communities, in our societies. So if you call yourself an activist, a community organizer, or anyone who stands on the side of humanity, I encourage you to please take action. Take action today, take action for the next 2 weeks. There's a lot of people, millions, behind the walls who need you. I appreciate anybody who took time to listen today. Thank you so much. And let's continue. Let's continue this.